today I'm building in Glimmerbrook and it's part one of my Glimmerbrook save file videos. And so today's it is a library, but technically a residential lot because I wanted a family to live in here. Well, more specifically, one sim. So for this like save file, I'm going to make Sims to live in the houses that I'm building, and they're going to be connected in a story that I'm creating, and they'll have relationships and stuff. So I'll need to make sure that I play the game and I set all of this stuff up before I release it. I don't know when that's going to be yet. I'm planning on sticking to my weekly upload schedule, and so it might not be until after Halloween. Well, it's definitely not going to be until after Halloween. I would love to have had this be a Halloween upload, but I had other stuff I was working on, so I couldn't start this until last week and to upload this week. But anyway, as for the family, it is one sim who lives here. Her name is Starla Venus. I came up with the name using a random name generator and I thought it was cute, and so I stuck with it. And the whole story is that this library has been passed down many generations. She inherited it. So, like, the base of it and like the decorations of the library and all the walls and floors and stuff isn't her personal taste. I wanted it to be like her apartment is the second level or the first level, depending on what you call it and where you live. But I wanted her apartment to bring out her personality in the decor and stuff. So that's specifically kind of her personality, where the rest of the build is just like she has it, she preserves it, she keeps it clean and stuff. And then that's like kind of the whole build. I have a reference picture for this, by the way. I might have come up with the shape myself. I feel like I'm cheating by not showing it right away because I think that I'm not that creative to come up with this sort of shape with the clock and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna pull up the picture so you could at least see it, and so I don't ramble over more of it. Here's the picture that I had used as reference. On Pinterest, it says, wait. World of Warcraft. I almost said War of Worldcraft, and that didn't sound right. So yeah, apparently it's a concept art for that game. So if you know anything about that game, I don't, maybe you kind of thought it looked familiar. Um, but yeah, I had found this on Pinterest. I'll have it linked in my description if you want to see it bigger and if you want to like build it. So it's all there. And yeah, I thought it was really interesting. It looked like a really beautiful library. And so that's what I was turning it into. I didn't think I'd be able to do that roof shape justice, but I think that I did it as close as possible for The Sims. There is like a slight gap where you could see the wall between the roofs and stuff. If I really wanted to, I could go back in before I upload it to the gallery and see if I could fix that so that it's all lined up. Also, I I, this looks like the bottom floor looks like a medium wall height, and I don't know if I changed that to a small wall height because the door ends up poking through. So I think that I messed something up and I might have to go back in and check it out before I upload it. So my plan for uploads, I'm gonna upload the builds to the gallery as I build them, but I won't be uploading the Sims yet. Um, so I am making Sims for each one, and I should also state that the save file is going to be sort of pack limited. I picked out some packs. It's not like super limited. I think that I'm using about like 10 to 15, a mix of expansions, game packs, and a couple of stuff packs. I'm not using any kits in it. I kind of just went through and I picked out what I think I would need in the save file and also would want with like create a sim because I don't really do create a sim as often as I used to. And so I kind of prioritized what packs too I think would look good for that. I also have a plan to have CC for The Sims, as like a separate download if possible. and then I can link all of the CC that I use for The Sims because the main thing of this save file is that I want to create something that I want to play in, and I'm going to use CC for my Sims because that's usually how I play. I don't use build CC, but I do use create a Sim CC. So that's one thing I'm gonna do is probably get new CC and then link it and then have that as an option for people as well. Um, but yeah, when I upload the Sims to the gallery, they'll be CC free and pack limited. I'll list all the packs that I used in the description so you could kind of see. I don't remember them off the top of my head. If I'm going through it and I'm looking at it, I could definitely list the packs that I used, or it could be a fun game. You could um like, guess which packs I used if you want. I know that it's definitely the exterior, Get Together, Cottage Living. I used, like, most of the well, I used all of the occult packs, I think, except for Get to Work. I didn't use Get to Work. But yeah, this is the exterior. It's a little garden. Another aspect of the sim who lives here is that I wanted it to be like her passion is studying plants. And so that she has like a little greenhouse area where she does her research and stuff, and she uses them in her spells upstairs. And so I wanted to make sure that there was like a nice garden on the exterior of the library. I also have an idea where she's possibly dating a professor who lives in one of the townhouses that I'm going to build, and so, like, he came to the town and he's not a spellcaster, but he's kind of researching, like maybe he's researching the plants. I imagine he's like a biology professor or something. And so he spends a lot of time at the library, and so then, like, he, like, discovers that she, knows a lot about the plants that he's trying to learn more about, and so I'm gonna set it up where they're not dating, but it's like it's there as like this is a possibility, kind of like in Stardew where like you could romance certain characters. Um, I'll keep things open ended, so if anyone plays the save file, they kind of like choose what they want. Um, and if like people do end up playing with the save file, I'd love to like hear about what Sims they decide to play with. Um, it's not gonna be for a while because the Sims aren't gonna be ready to download anytime soon, but the builds will, so if you wanna make your own Sims for the world, or if you want to, like, create alongside me in a way where you download the builds and you make your own Sims for them, and you kind of like create your own story for Glimmerbrook. I think that would also be kind of cool, and I'd love to hear about it. So yeah, you don't have to use my story. The builds are going to be there. You could kind of set things up too for yourself and what works for your gameplay. My brother's dog is barking very loudly, but I'm so far away from there that I don't know if it picks up. But yeah, the entire exterior is done. I think I go back and I add a few more things eventually, but now I'm doing the floor plan. And this is the apartment for Starla. It's very small. It's a one bedroom apartment. And then the towers I kind of just have as little reading study areas. So if you come up the stairs from the like bottom floor of the library, you could kind of go up to the towers and have like a more quiet spot to read by yourself and alone. The apartment is closed off, so you have to enter a doorway to go through. So if you play in this lot, you can lock it. um, but yeah, the library's not going to be an actual functional lot because it's just I wanted a sim to live here. But if you have sims, you could give them the always welcome trait, and your sims can just like come here and do whatever they want with like without any issues. The downstairs is pretty open. I didn't really know how to like map this out at first because I don't do community lots very often. And even though this is a residential, the bottom is still like set up as a community lot. And I didn't really know how to split it up in a way where it wasn't all open plan. And like some of it seemed like it had some sort of definition. And so I made this little area off to the bottom left that I raised up on a platform, and I just put some books up there and like a seating area, and then all around is just a bunch of piles of books. I didn't want the place to just like look like a standard library with just a bunch of bookcases. I wanted it to kind of be like you enter and you really need the help of the person who lives here and works here because you don't know where anything is. It's all just like everything is thrown everywhere. There's not enough bookcases to hold all of the books. And so that's kind of like what I wanted to do. And I picked cats and dogs specifically for one item, and it was the suitcase with all the books stacked on top because I couldn't do a build without it. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do cats and dogs. And I considered giving this girl a cat, but then I forgot. And I don't know if there's a lot of space for a cat. You could definitely add it in if you wanted. But yeah, maybe another sim will have a pet or something. But yeah, this is the bedroom. I change it again in a little bit. It's very small. Like I always like having the bed not against a wall because two sims can kind of walk on either side and it's just easier for gameplay. But it was not working. I felt like the bedroom was just like too small and I couldn't fit anything in it. So I end up moving the bed over to the wall and going from there. I really liked the horse ranch dresser, and that was like I'm keeping this here. I think I had to make it green, which it's very bright when reshade is turned off, but I think that it's okay. I feel like maybe she picked that up on the side of the road or something, or maybe she painted it herself like when she maybe she found that in like an the attic space or something and she liked it, but she didn't like the color of it, so she painted it green herself. Maybe that's what she did with a lot of the furniture and stuff up here to kind of make it her personal taste. I also changed the bathroom because this is a me bathroom. It uses all of the items that I normally use, a lot of like the gold and warm tones, and that is not what I wanted the apartment to be. So I go back in and I change some of it just to like make it match the rest of the apartment a little bit better. I wanted to make sure that there was a cauldron space in here. I did this little thing where I just like mapped out some of the stone area and I put little tiny iron fences around it. I felt like it looked more permanent and like the cauldron is like built there instead of just like thrown on the wood floor. And I tried to use a dog bowl to put crystals in. I end up changing it because I end up like finding a cast iron pot from Horse Ranch and I decided that that was better because I couldn't get the association that that was a dog food bowl out of my head. And so I was like, I need to change this. Um, I also every time I watch people build in The Sims, I see that they like lay everything out on the floor for clutter and then they like put it everywhere. So I did that a lot in this build and I really like how it worked out. It felt like kind of like unpacking. Like you have all this like person's belongings and then you kind of like fit it around into like the house like you're moving in. I stopped recording the voiceover for a second because there's a lawnmower outside, but you can't hear it in the recording apparently because I just listened back. um, it's gotten cooler here in the last couple of weeks, which is really nice. I'm no longer like dying and sweating in my room in like super hot summer with my PC blowing hot air at me and my monitors radiating heat towards me. And so I've been like actually cold the last couple of weeks, which is nice. I definitely feel like I'm bound to get sick soon. So I'm hoping that that doesn't interfere with any of my voiceovers and stuff. If it does, you might just hear me sick for a little bit. I don't know. I always get sick around this time. I mean, I usually get sick around my birthday. Um, and usually I'm sick on my birthday, and that didn't happen this year. So maybe I skipped like the early fall sickness. But yeah, this is where I changed the bedroom because I realized that I didn't like how it was turning out, and I really like it a lot better now. I like having some more space to kind of make it feel like a bedroom instead of making it just like a feel like a closet that has just a bed thrown in. And so I used a console table to kind of act like a dresser because they are a little bit smaller and they give better variety where some of the like not as deep dressers. I lost my thought. You get it. You get it. But yeah, this is the bathroom. I once again I changed some of this too. I'm not completely sold on the bathroom. Some of this might change if you download it. Maybe the rug will change. I think that the rug is throwing me off because the purple flowers are so bright that I feel like it doesn't fit in. And so this is the kitchen. I really liked the idea of having it split off with the columns and the spandrels and stuff. And so I knew it was going to be a pretty small kitchen. I didn't put too much clutter in the kitchen. I knew that I'd have so much stuff downstairs, and I was started to really think about like the playability of the lot and the amount of items I was going to be using. And I kept the kitchen and living room very simple. I think that it just has what she needs to cook and stuff, and plus some extra decor around, and that's pretty much it. Like, she just decorates, her office space and her altar and stuff, and that's, like, where most of her clutter goes when she buys stuff is in there. Um, yeah, I end up rotating the fridge because, why do I rotate the fridge? Oh, because 'cause I'm looking for a place for the dining room table, and I realize it's so tiny, I don't know what to do. So I turned just, like, the dining room into like, a living room with the table, so you have the, like, I guess, like, a bench type seat, acting as like your living room couch, and there's a TV behind it. And I almost used that giant stereo, and I threw myself off because I was like, that's an unlockable item. I shouldn't use that. And then I use it upstairs, I think. So I guess it mattered in here, but it didn't matter a day later when I did the rest of it. Um yeah, I built this before the Better Build Buy update with all the favorited items, and I originally I was going to make a little, like, reel series of, like, favoriting items and stuff, and then when I went to go do it, my game was not loading, and it was, like, right after the update, I updated my mods, and I played because I was looking at the favorites, and then I was like, "Whoa," like, it would be cool to do, like, a little reel series of, like, going through the items and, like, picking out, items I'm gonna favorite, and then my game just would not load. It was stuck on a loading screen for a long time, and I was scared because I don't have a backup of this. I didn't back up my saves when I updated, and all I could think was, "Okay, I don't really care about anything else, like, if I lose all my stuff, I'll get over it. I'll just make new saves. It should be okay." But then I was thinking about this build, and I was just like, "I don't have a backup of this build. I love this build now. I don't wanna have to recreate it because if I have to redo it, I'm gonna be second guessing everything." And I'll have to be, like, looking at the video and, like, doing it in exact replica because I wouldn't wanna change anything. But I ended up leaving my Sims game just loading endlessly, and I just laid down, and then it eventually loaded, and so I was like, "Oh my god." And I was so happy that it loaded, and it kept doing that, and so I was just like, "I'm not building yet, so I'm just gonna leave it." And then it ended up fixing itself, so I guess it was just a Sims update with a Sims issue with the update. Because I had seen, like, a few people talking about it on Twitter, so when I see other people talking about an issue, I feel a lot better because I'm like, "Okay, it's not me, I didn't mess anything up." Um, just ignore it for now. It'll get fixed. You don't have to worry about it. Um, and I'm really glad about that. And so like, I guess that's also why my builds, I feel like I'm behind now because it's Sunday and I haven't started the next video where normally I start building it by now. So then I kind of have a week to like build it, edit it, do the voiceover and stuff. And so the next week's video might be a day late. I say that sometimes and then it's not, but this time I'm thinking that it might end up being late because I haven't started it. If it's a small build, I'll be able to do it, but I'm not sure which build I'm doing. I'm kind of considering two different ones right now. So there is the save file was kind of inspired by me wanting to create a family and play with them. And so like then I was like, okay, I'll just make a whole save file, but then that means I can't play with the family. But the family is going to be like grandparents and two grandchildren and an aunt of the grandchildren. And so I think I either want to make the aunt's house or I want to make the bar area that's like downtown. And the bar area is going to be owned by the girlfriend of the aunt. And so I'm like going back and forth on which one I want to do first because I don't know if I want to make the Sims yet. So I could do the bar and then I don't have to make the Sims yet and I could kind of like have some time to like figure out what I want them to look like. Um so I'm weighing it in my head. But yeah, you see that I kind of threw all the clutter down like on the floor here and then I just start placing it everywhere. It felt so refreshing to do that. I don't know why I haven't been able to do that in the past. It's like I always focus on one area and then I pick out the clutter I want for that specific area. And then this time I just pulled out what I thought matched with the theme that I was going for. And yeah, it felt like just unpacking boxes and it felt like a mini game while I was doing it. And I knew this build was like pretty large, so I was nervous about how long it would be, especially editing it. Since I've slowed down my videos, I've been kind of more aware of how long it takes me to do certain things in the game. And one of them is pulling out clutter and scrolling for long periods of time. But if I pull out all the clutter, I could just cut out like probably minutes worth of me scrolling through the catalog, and then I could just like do a cross dissolve with all of the items on the floor, and no one misses anything, and it's just if it moves faster, and so it's less of me thinking and more of me actually doing it. Also, for her greenhouse, I figured that she, like, had a couple of gnomes, but it's like that, like, thing where if people know you like something, they buy it for you as a gift for every occasion. So I figured that, like, she had a couple gnomes and then people kind of went with it. They're like, "Oh, yeah, like, Starla loves gardening and she's got a gnome collection, so let's buy her gnomes for her birthday and holidays." And so she keeps acquiring these gnomes, and it might be annoying if you have seasons and they start moving around your house, on Harvest Fest, but yeah, I thought that was, like I felt like it was right for that, like, one aspect of a story that doesn't even matter. But yeah, these are the little towers. I didn't really know what to do with it at first, and so that's when I was just like, "I'm just gonna make them part of the library." Because it is open to the stairs, like, at this point, I was like, maybe that's her space too," but it really can't be because the stairs are right open to it, and I like the idea of Sims kinda just walking up the stairs and going to these little, parts, and there is the stereo up here. I figured that maybe people like to study with music playing, but I didn't want it in the main library section because I'm definitely the type of person who I need to listen to things while I'm doing stuff, and I need to listen to music when I'm working. So I figured that someone who needs music pretty loud can come up here. It might disturb the people who are on the computer like right downstairs, but that's just something that needs to happen, I guess. If you know the stereo's up there, you know you're gonna hear it a little bit. And then I just go through and I just add some more little things to the exterior because I kind of left it without changing things. But yeah, that's the whole video. I will have a video next week of something. I'll post a preview of it before then, so you kind of know what I'm working on and what I do decide on building next. But yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.